Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Today we are talking about how to celebrate creatively with Geraldine of Dolldine Designs, and I'm so excited. My name is Angela Kiesenbing, and I'm the founder and CEO of Angela Grace Events, where every day is a reason to celebrate. And today we're having another 20-minute Tuesday conversation. And again, we're talking about all the pretty little things because Geraldine is a maker of all the pretty little things, right? She is I hope I'm saying this right, paperie. She creates invitations, beautiful invitations, and also cards. And she's just got this really amazing eye for beauty. And if you've seen her Christmas tree on Instagram, you would know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce her, bring her on really quick. Make sure you join me and give her a round of applause. Throw up some hearts and likes. Oh my goodness, she is no stranger to the show. Everybody, welcome. Woo. Oh. Hey.
Hi.
What's up, girl? How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. I'm so excited. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We're here living life, you know. It's 2020. The phone's gonna ring. You'll probably hear my kids in the background too. So oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. And I love having these conversations because it's like we're catching up and everything. So thanks for being on here. And so Geraldine's been on the show before. We've talked about her beautiful invitations and the art of the invitation, if you will, for events. And I'm going to go ahead and let her share a little bit about what Dolldine is all about and what she creates for her clients and in her business. Go
Well,
for it.
thank you, Angela. Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to be here joining you. I do invitations and paper stationery. I like to do basically papery that speaks you and anything that is custom to what you want and what you like. Everyone has a different design and different aesthetic, and I want it to represent who you are. So that's what I do. I design invitations. Design wedding invitations, birthday, uh, birthday invitations, announcements, moving announcements, from everything in between. And I do it out of my home. I've been doing it now for ooh, over 12 years. And so I love what I do, and I'm just passionate about paper.
I love it. Passionate about paper, and it's so nice. I feel like, we've kind of lost that need to write a letter, put a stamp on it, send it in the mail. I think this year it's been a little bit different. Did you think?
I absolutely agree. I think that just from the connection that's lost from the interaction of, like, face to face, it's
Mhm.
definitely harder, but I think that, bringing that old snail mail back is just
Yeah, bring it back. Snail mail. Right. And so I imagine that you kind of had to create a couple of like, here's our new date cards, like for the wedding industry. Like, how is that? Like, how is that working with your clients and in that aspect?
I mean, unfortunately, due to the circumstances, it was very, very sad, and it's unforeseen. We still don't even know what's happening now. A lot of the clients that we had that were supposed to get married in 2020, earlier when this pandemic started, they pushed it back towards the end of the year, thinking that, oh, this will all be okay by the time the holidays come around and
Mm.
the time when families are supposed to be together. But unfortunately, we have another lockdown, and so it's not going to happen. So it's been very, very difficult. And a lot of these brides and grooms, they choose their date with a meaning, and so
Mhm.
it's very hard to have to tell them, like, oh, okay, let's postpone it yet again. But that's just the reality of it, unfortunately, and that's just kind of what we have to deal with. And so now they're just dealing with smaller, more intimate weddings, private ceremonies,
Right.
the big old, wedding celebration. But a lot of brides have pushed it to 2021, where they'll do something more with, that's kind of like a party, basically. So they
Yeah.
get married, that intimate ceremony, now, and
Yeah.
then they'll have the big celebration when everything's clear.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who did that, and it's like, you know what, go for it. It's like we're not going anywhere, so
Yep,
just do it.
exactly.
Um, and that's awesome. And so you actually said something about, and this is, I believe, in your description too, where it's all about creating um, space. Well, I want to ask about creating space too, because I think you create beautiful spaces as well, but like creating a invitation or like a paper that speaks to you, right? That speaks to you actually. So like, how can somebody, like, what are some ways or maybe questions that you ask people to really understand who they are and get their vibe, to like get it all and on paper?
Yeah, well, definitely. I feel that, especially with brides and grooms, it's important to be unique and have your papery speak who you are. I mean, yeah, you can see something very pretty on the internet and want something duplicated. And that's not typically what we do. We use that as inspiration and try to figure out, like, what are your favorite colors? What do you like to do together? Do you have a favorite song? Use lyrics of that song. Maybe you'll use it for your first dance. Things like that. Different types of things that bring you together as a couple. I think that's very important, because then your guests kind of realize and understand, like, who you guys are and how you guys are brought together to become one, basically. um, so just understanding, like, who the couple really is, I think, is very important, and that's how we kind of put everything together, and
Yeah.
put the pieces of the puzzle to make it so it's very unique to that couple.
Right. And you guys also do like Christmas cards and like holiday cards and other things, like you said, like a new home, or we just moved, or um baby announcements and stuff like that. What are some other examples or ways that people can start to use and incorporate the papery in their lives, especially in a time like this, like during the holidays? Like, what are some creative things? Like, I saw your Christmas cards are super cute.
Oh, yeah.
um,
The year we
yeah,
stayed home.
yeah, let me see if I can find them. But like, what are some ways that we can create these pieces outside of like the occasion, right? Like, what are some other ways that we can just create things for, I guess, for fun?
Yeah,
Like,
I think obviously bringing back the whole snail mail thing, I think, is really great. Especially my girls, I'm trying to get them to understand, the whole idea behind stamps and going to the post office and how things get delivered and transported. So writing mail, like letters to their friends, and sending it out, is something that I think is very important. So custom stationery, having something that has your name on it, I think, is just, it's just like a little gift that you open when you receive something from their mailbox. Another things that we do for the holidays, not necessarily just to keep in touch with people, but just to get in touch with, who we are as a family. We do the advent calendar, and we do all these different fun activities every day. And it doesn't necessarily mean going out to go do fun things that, like, what we have done in the past. Now it's kind of thinking outside the box, and you know doing like a Santa hunt, or making salt dough
mm,
ornaments. We did that last night, and everyone made their own ornament and
ooh,
painted it, and it's just things like that. And it doesn't even require a lot of money. I mean, it's just flour and salt that we had that I had in the cabinet, and it's just something that they write their names on it, and they'll always remember. Oh, I did this, and it's just one of those types of
yeah,
things. So, I think that's just it's
I
very
love
sweet.
that. Yeah, and I was trying to share your page, and I think it's taking up a lot of bandwidth, and I don't want to cut off what you're saying. So I want to say, like, and I don't even remember this during quarantine, but I remember like you had left out. I went to go to your house to pick something up, and there was like a little something special for the mailman that you guys had left out, and I was like, that is so cute. Like, and I'm sure that mailman was like, oh my gosh, like it made his day. So I thought that was really sweet. But just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
we get packages all the time, and I send packages all the time. And so I understand that they have to take my stuff, and our mail person walks, you know what I mean? So that's kind of far. And just having them appreciate, like, just that little thing. It's not a whole lot, but just through their day, have a little snack. We do it for UPS, who we see quite frequently, the Amazon person and our UPS guy, the SPS guy.
right? And
Um,
Oh gosh, I love that. When you know the mailman by first name, first name basis. And so going back to that, like just being kind, it just was like reminded of like last month where we did the kindness challenge, right? The 30-day kindness challenge. There were two things. So you did that, and then you kind of turned it into something fun for the family. And then you also talked about that you do something every year, like a yearbook slash Christmas cards. Tell me about that.
So every year, I make a family yearbook, and it's basically all our photos. It's done by the month, and it has all our photos, key photos, I guess you would say. And I write like a little description of like what happened, what we did, what some of the kids' thoughts, my thoughts, anything basically, just that will remind us of what had actually happened. So it's kind of nice to look back. Now the girls are old enough and they can actually read the captions. And so they're so touched by, the things that they were doing when they were a baby, or, things like that. Like they would have never known that, their milestones and things like that. So I capture it all and I like to document it. This year has been very important just because of this whole pandemic and just, being so close to my family, because literally, we do not leave. It's kind of sad, I know. And so it's like we were stuck together for how long? And I'm sure the whole world, it's very, very hard. And so that gratitude challenge that you had available allowed me to, think more about that word, write more in depth of it, and then I put a picture that matched it and put it in our album. So the month of November basically is that gratitude challenge,
Yeah,
with the word
I
in the
love that.
so. Thank you
Yeah,
for
that's
that
awesome.
inspiration too, by the way.
No worries. You're so welcome. Oh, and there's like 5 people on here. Everybody come and say hi. Give Geraldine from Dolldine Designs some love. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're talking about how to celebrate the holidays creatively through paperie. And am I saying that right? I want to make sure.
Yes, definitely. You are. You
It's such a
got
pretty name. And so you kind of talked about some of the fun things that you guys are doing with your clients and your family and friends. And I get it. Like everyone's different, and I think we're all like for the most part being really safe and trying to keep things low key, right? But I think it shouldn't take away from us having fun. And there was an article that I was just reading. It was like, you don't have to survive, you thrive even during the holidays, even during this time. And I love all of the things that you shared because like you said, they're free. You're creating things out of your own cupboard. And it's just spreading that joy, sharing and creating something special that we'll look back to and it'll be like, oh, we went through this, but we got through this, and
yeah.
these are all the amazing, beautiful things that came from it. Even though it was or is, a very interesting and specific time.
Yeah, it really is, and that's just the thing too. It's just my girls see the struggle of it just because they're like, oh, this is horrible. They hear it on the radio, and when we're in the car, and they see it on TV and stuff, and just like, oh, everything's so horrible, this crazy pandemic. But it's just it is what it is, and I try to make them understand that it is a tough, it's unfortunate that it had to happen during our time, but we just have to work around it and just, this is what it's going to be like, and it won't be like this forever, and which is great, but you should still have hope and not be so, down, and there's nothing we can change. So the only thing that you can do is just work around it and make it better. So just to stay
Oh yeah.
positive, I think is very important, especially for the young ones, because they miss their friends, they miss the interaction,
Oh
as
yeah.
much as I do. Do more.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, we've gone through some different stages where it's like, "Why, we're going to get through this. Why?" And then it's like, "We're got this." And then it's like, I mean, we're human, right? And I love and appreciate these types of connections that at least we're still able to connect, and see each other face to face without a mask,
Yeah.
online. I can see your whole beautiful face. Okay, so tell me, if you have any ideas or like tips for how we can leverage the power of pretty paper to nurture like those relationships. So whether it's, you know, for your family or writing long distance letters, or even just like, you know, I had like, for me, I have a journal that I haven't written in years, but it's full, that I wrote like the first few years for my daughter. Like I was like, okay, it's not papery, but it's like in a journal, but something like that. Like, what are some ways that people can leverage that, the power of paper, if you will, to like
Well,
build the
yeah,
relationship?
absolutely. I think number one, the first thing is just to document, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything super fancy. I know, you know, a lot, me especially, I used to get intimidated by the scrapbookers and how much, you know, stuff that they had. And I was like, how can mine look halfway decent as theirs, you know? And it's not about that. It's just really, it's about the words, and it's about capturing those words and either writing it down or typing it out and printing it out and putting it with those photos. I think is very important. It doesn't have to be a crazy photo book.
Mhm.
I get mine printed from Blurb each year, and it comes like all nice. I know when I used to scrapbook and had more time, I actually printed out the photo and did all that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I believe is like, you know, I think bringing that whole snail mail thing back, you know, having, you know, even especially the kids, just to have them understand, you know, writing letters and how excited they get in the mail, and they're like, oh, my friend wrote me back. You know, there's like
Yeah.
those there. It's just, you know, something very just, it's a different type of feeling as opposed to like ding ding, you got a message on Messenger, kids, or something like that.
Right? It's like that instant notification, but it's like, it's
Yes.
kind of taught some patience, right? Like with our kids, like we have some of the students are on site and some of us are at home, like us, and they had pen pals. And so it's like, it's not like they're going to get it just in a few seconds. It's going to take a few days for it to get to them. And then in some cases, like my son didn't get his letter because, you know, the kids, I probably can't read the handwriting, you know, the mailman or the post office probably can read the handwriting. So, I mean, then it takes a little bit longer. And so it's just like that anticipation of like, okay. And even for me, it's like, oh, I get to check the mail. And I'm really bad at checking the mail because, you know, we're in a condo complex and I have to walk to go get unless it's like a package. So I'm pretty bad about that. You know, I gotta get better at that. But I think it's, you know, that excitement of getting something else other than a bill or
Yeah,
the, you know, the
absolutely.
daily news. So that's awesome. And then, so I want to ask you, like, where can people find you and how can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about you and what you have to offer?
So my website, um, doll-deen-designs.com is where like there's a links to my shop and things. There's a link to my blog. There's lots of freebies and things that you can download that you can use. There's one. It's the Believe in the Magic of Christmas. They're little pennant flags that you can make with your kids. You print them out on colored paper. You know, put some ribbon, put some, you know, tulle or whatever, just yarn, and have it by their stocking. It's just something that they can just play with. And I think, you know, kids really enjoyed that type of thing. There's freebies on there. There's cards that you can download that you can actually send, you know, to somebody through snail mail. And then there's our shop. If you wanted to purchase custom cards, we do that as well. And of course, for all our brides and grooms, we have our wedding collection and our yeah, right there, that one, the I believe the Believe in Magic, the Magic of Christmas.
Yay. Yes.
So something very simple.
It's
You
so
put it on
pretty and it's just,
a skewer. It's very simple, you know, just on a I just taped it onto a skewer
mhm.
and put the skewer in their little stocking. Um, and it's just fun. It's just cute, you know, fun for the kids to see. And I know a lot of people do the elf on the shelf thing or something. And, you know, maybe elf could be carrying that in or something. I don't know. I'm not really
Yeah,
familiar, but,
that's
you
great.
know, it's, the creativity is all there. And it's,
Yeah.
the kids love it, you know, so small little
I
things.
love that. And then, yes, I love it. And then, so yeah, go over to doll-deen-designs.com. That Believe in Magic Christmas pennant is on the first page. And I just want to show you guys her tree right here in the corner. I hope you guys can see it, but it's so beautiful, isn't it? And I know we didn't get to talk about creating spaces, but is it pretty, like, can you transfer like all the things that you talked about like the meaning of certain things and creating those spaces. Like I feel like for me, I need to get rid of a lot of things first before I create spaces. But I don't know. Tell me, because you change your tree all the time, right? Every year.
Yes, I do. I change it every year. And I get, opinions from my family members. My husband agreed this year for pink, which I was really shocked, but I just went for it. So,
Yay.
but yeah, I change it, and I just feel that, if you haven't read the book of Marie Kondo, it's the art of magic of tidying up. Have you read that book?
Mhm.
That book is just, it's like so near and dear to my heart. I read that and I was just stuck, and so I kind of believe in things like to keep things that bring you joy, and so create a space and create um things that you own that bring you joy. And so it's funny too, because there's this joke with my husband and our friends. I was cleaning out the kitchen and there was a tool that didn't bring me joy, but obviously my husband uses it and I didn't know. And I threw it
Right?
out.
Oh no. Okay. Oops. I guess we gotta check in, right? Before we do those
Exactly.
things.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
especially if they don't use it for so long. It's like, oh, I haven't seen this, but who knows? Maybe they go out late at night. Use
That
it.
was my point exactly. It was like it was like a grilling utensil. And I was like, oh, we don't use
Oh,
it for the grill. We use something else. And so of course he was like, where is it? And I'm like, oh
yeah.
it didn't bring me joy. But I
Well,
just
thank
think,
you.
that anything to like bring and uplift your spirits, especially in a time like this right now, everyone's at home and you kind of get used to seeing the same thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
A change of color, a change of scenery, maybe your wallpaper background on your computer, something that you really enjoy. I think it will
Mm.
bring up your spirits, and we all need the cheer for sure.
Yes, for sure. And I feel like I see that with a lot of creatives. Like my daughter, she changes her like whole iPad look and feel, and I don't even know how she does it, but like every season, like right now it's Christmas, and then last month it was like all these like fall Thanksgiving things, and it's just like whatever mood you're in, like you could just kind of replicate that in your paper or what you're writing about and in your
Yeah.
space. And I think that's so awesome. And I do love Marie Kondo. Like I think the one big takeaway was like to yeah, create space for things that bring you joy, but also think the things that you're letting go of and not just like I'm just gonna throw it away or give it to Goodwill, but really like, thank you for serving me. Take
Yeah.
that. So
Now go for somebody else, right? Like,
yes, yes. And I think that is it helps it makes it a little bit easier for you to let it go, at least in my thoughts.
yeah, and definitely your daughter. She's so cute, by the way. Oh my gosh, she's like creative in the making. She's so cute. I love that idea of her changing her iPad thing. And I watched your mother daughter.
Oh, yeah, thank you
So
so
and
much.
that's just so sweet. It's just so sweet. I love it.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much, Geraldine. I'm really thankful that we had this opportunity to chat and share what you do with everyone, and also just talk about the importance of papery and the emotions and like the power of it all, especially during this time in our lives. And um, it's so important. So I love all of your ideas, and thank you so much again for being here.
Oh,
Um,
thank you for having me. This was fun. Thank you.
course. And so join us next week for our final guest, Alexis. She is a photographer right here in my area, our area, Mira Mesa. And she's going to be talking to us about how to celebrate the holidays creatively through photography. And you don't have to be a professional to come and join us. It's all fun. And if you guys, are wondering how to rock virtual events in 2021, make sure you check out the course, How to Rock Virtual Events. And it's all about making you the rock star of the virtual event space in your industry. I'll put the link in the comments or in the description. And make sure that after this, you go ahead and download those Christmas pennants. And pretty up your house, right? Put them on the skewers, stick them everywhere, hand it to your elf, um, and make your space pretty. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember to make every day a reason to celebrate, and we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.